Hello, everyone. My name is Alex Bernet, and I work for LocWorld Conference. I'm thrilled to be joined today by James Jameson, the Chief Commercial Officer for CaptionHub. James, how are you today?
Yeah, great. Thanks, Alex. Thanks for having us on today. Really looking forward to this.
Great. Well, we identified your LocWorld 52 session as one that we would like to highlight for the upcoming conference. LocWorld 52 will take place in Monterey, California on October 28th through the 30th this year. Registration is currently open, and we already have over 400 people signed up for the conference. So if you're thinking about joining us, please check out www.locworld.com, and we hope to see you later this month. So James, the title of your LocWorld 52 session is Decoding Multimedia Localization, Current Demands and Trends Across Voice, Live Subtitles, Gen AI, and more. So we've seen a lot of major technological advances in multimedia localization in recent years, a lot of them actually driven by your company, CaptionHub, in terms of voice dubbing, live subtitling, and much more. So to start, can you tell us a little bit about how multimedia localization is evolving and how the calculus for companies creating and distributing content on a global scale is still changing?
Yeah, I'd be delighted to, Alex. It's a super interesting space, and it's showing no signs of slowing down. The pace is speeding up, but also it's becoming wider in terms of what defines multimedia localization. I think the sort of stats for general video use in the internet is somewhere between 70 to 90% of all internet traffic is video, but I'd harbor a guess that it's probably a little bit more than that.
Wow.
It's very rare that we go online nowadays and that we're not looking at video or audio or interacting with some form of multimedia, right? It really is, how we use online content nowadays in the live internet world. So we turn to sort of how large brands are managing localization of that content to a global audience. We start to get a sense really of the scale of the problem that we're trying to help our customers manage, which is, our customers are doing this at different levels. And actually, I think some of the really sort of key market drivers that we see pushing this space have remained the same as they ever were, as they were 10 years ago. And that's the really critical ROI drivers like speed to market, but more specifically, speed to market for accurate and good quality content or good
Mhm.
quality localized content. And I think what has evolved or is really starting to surface is that brands are realizing that this is really a competitive feature in the landscape. It's the way that they can compete with their direct competitors for market share. So their ability to go to market more quickly in a global market is obviously very key, and that's a very hard thing to do in multimedia localization. Multimedia brings with it its own very unique features to localization, namely the dimension of time. But there are lots of factors involved within that orchestration of AI technologies, lots of individuals, various vendors, all of these various entities in the mix. So sort of localizing quality content and doing that quickly, that's a tough problem set to solve. And so, the one thing I'd sort of say there, just to sort of, cap off, how we're thinking about multimedia localization and its evolution. We've seen these market evolutions in artificial intelligence, but also outputs such as voice or synthetic lip sync or sign language. These are features that now we're starting to see in the wider multimedia localization market. It's not really about subs and dubs, subtitles and dubbing and voiceover. It's all of these other things. And so as organizations are starting to think about how they build these in, you've got your sort of classic, how do I build this into procurement? How do I think about this? How do I future proof this without having to continually change operating models every 2-3 years? And that's really what we're trying to do at CaptionHub, is provide that level of consistency. So it's a really interesting market, and we're delighted to continue and be part of that conversation.
Great. And I love that all of the technology that you're dealing with is really increasing accessibility for wider audiences, which is just so impressive. So you've put together a really fantastic panel of experts from the LSP side, along with Caption Hub's founder. But I see that you're also including an end client who designed and built large-scale media processing, supply chain, language, vision, and even content production systems for Amazon Web Services. Could you take a moment to tell us a little bit about your panelists and how you think these various perspectives will create a valuable conversation for our local world audience?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, I'm really delighted and honoured that everybody said yes and has joined the panel here. So we have Tom Bridges, who is CaptionHub's chief executive and founder, and then we have Edmund Ovington, who's Fraser's global vice president, Gráinne Maycock, who's the chief revenue officer at Acolad, and then Konstantin Wilms, who's a principal architect in the media and entertainment space at AWS. And I think just point out at the start here actually that both Acolad and AWS are both partners and clients. So we work with them in a number of different ways. That's sort of really, really important point. So when we were thinking about this panel, this is the media and entertainment and the broader sort of localization market is enormous. And what we wanted to do is just bring in sort of very unique perspectives from different angles. And I think these are really complementary perspectives. So if we start with Tom, his background is in moving image, having run, several very well-respected production companies in the sort of video and commercial space where he's created videos for the world's largest brands. I think that's really given Tom and the company at CaptionHub a real insider advantage to how, localization is done at these companies and how we solve for this every day. And then, of course, we've got our wonderful partners at Phrase and Acolad and AWS. So Acolad, and Gráinne's team and the rest of the team at Acolad are one of our longest standing language partners and clients. And really, you see what Acolad are doing. They're very much at the fore of providing, managed services for multimedia localization to the world's largest companies. They simply are. And we see that at every LocWorld. Gráinne is doing a talk around how they're really pushing the envelope here. But like us, they can't do this in isolation. And, I keep harking back to ecosystem because it's so very important for how we all operate successfully. They need to use machine translation like DeepL, and we saw that at the last LocWorld in Gráinne's presentation there. But also they integrate with leading TMSs like Phrase and platforms like CaptionHub to consolidate it all. This sort of ecosystem approach is really important. And actually, this brings me on to Edmund Ovington at Phrase, who I know is, he's seen very much as a leader in the ecosystem and channel partnership space, as well as being the GVP over at Phrase. So sort of Edmund also brings this sort of unique sort of view on both, from a Phrase standpoint, but also how the ecosystem can be enabled for everybody's benefit. AWS, are just a fascinating organization, and in some ways they're an outlier of a partner in that they provide, this myriad complex cloud infrastructure that we use to scale CaptionHub, for very large events or very large multimedia throughputs. But we also use, very key AI engines of theirs, so machine translation and voiceover synthesis and optical character recognition. So AWS just have so many viewpoints on the multimedia localization space, and I think this is going to be just a really interesting person to have on the panel. So very much all of the panelists have this unique, very up-to-date view of multimedia localization, right today in October 2024.
Well, it sounds like a fascinating session, and you've already started to answer the next part of the first part of my next question, which was about the platform ecosystem approach to managing localization at scale. But I wonder, can you talk briefly about a few of the actionable strategies that your panel would recommend for companies that are either just getting started with this process or might need to adjust their current course from their current ways of thinking?
Sure. Look, we see that our clients are often very tuned into this. They understand that they are operating in an ecosystem, and we would just sort of continue to convey that message that it's the benefit that you can derive from all of these platforms is best derived when the platforms are working together. And so sort of, our first notion as children of what an ecosystem is usually comes from, our geography class or biology classes. How do the individual entities within a broader landscape work together in synergy so that it's benefiting all of the players? That's broadly what an ecosystem is.
Okay.
And localization at scale, to do this efficiently, it needs careful, measured, resilience, orchestration of all of the people, the processes, the technology, the Gen AI, all of those things need to work together in a really efficient and effective way. And so that's why we take, ecosystems at CaptionHub, really seriously. I think sort of 10 years ago, ecosystems were seen as a bit of a sales and marketing sort of strategy. It was called channel or channel partnerships. And I think it's something much more foundational than that. It's really how companies can operate together in the market in synchronicity to deliver value for their clients. And it's not the easiest thing to do because you're bringing large groups of people together, go in a single direction. But it's very important.
Great. Well, my last question, the LocWorld team, myself and my co-producer of the Process Innovation Challenge, Dave Ruan, we were really thrilled, James, to present you with the Innovator of the Year for Europe Award for your CaptionHub Live innovation at LocWorld51 back in Dublin in June. And the CaptionHub Live, it uses AI to provide live simultaneous subtitling in 130 languages. Congratulations again on the great accomplishment where you beat out a field of 28 other great innovators. So what I wanted to ask you here was, did participating and winning the pick help you get some new visibility for CaptionHub? And if so, also, do you have any advice for any innovators out there who might be considering entering the competition?
Yeah, it's a great question. And look, firstly, Alex, just a huge thank you to LocWorld for inviting us to do the pick in the first place. We'd been through the pick process before. So we definitely hesitated coming back into the pick. Was it something that we were going to be successful in doing? And I think you and David were just great coaches throughout the whole process. We just, I personally felt sort of very clear on what I was going to do, supported, and also making it such an enjoyable process. Ultimately, it's a competition, but to make it enjoyable makes it easy to do the competition. So I would say we've had just a load of visibility. It's been great for the company. We're still getting customers talking to us now. I had actually a customer who got in touch with us yesterday, and he'd come up to me just after the Pick Award back in June in Dublin. So we're getting really great visibility. It's been superb for our brand. It's been great for the team. It's been great for sort of general pride in the company. We're all very proud of what we do at CaptionHub. So I would just say, if you're thinking about entering the pick, don't think about it, just do it. Sign the form, go ahead and do it, start the process. You've really got nothing to lose. It's an awesome process. And if you can get onto that stage and actually present, it's just going to be a lot of fun. And if you have any questions you want to ask me about it, I'll be at LocWorld, or you can speak to me about it.
Well, that's such a kind and generous offer. And, I just, again, am so gratified on behalf of the pick that it was a valuable experience for you. And again, what's really impressive is that the first time around you didn't win, but you went back to it and you refined the pitch and came back even stronger. And again, you beat a field of 28 great innovators. So James, on behalf of LocWorld, I want to thank you for taking time to talk with me today. We're really excited about your session. It's going to take place at 4:15 p.m. on Tuesday, October 29th at LocWorld52 Conference in Monterey. And the full details of that session are available on the LocWorld website at www.locworld.com. And you can also see the rest of the program. And if you don't have a ticket yet, you can sign up. So I'd like to thank our viewers for watching today. And thank you again, James, for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful day.
Thanks, Alex. I'll see you in LocWorld. Cheers.
Have a good one.
Thanks.